everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. So DC and Warner Brothers, or Discovery, will eventually own both of these companies. But for right now, DC has announced that they are going to be doing a Batgirl movie. And we possibly could have some new details about that movie coming out, what I believe will be an HBOMax exclusive. Well, time will tell on that. But this comes to us from the Illuminati, and they've got some details on what possibly could be coming up for the Batgirl movie. So let's go over here and check this out here. Brand new character details, including description of film's villain in this exclusive report. DC is continuing to build out their pantheon of heroes with the upcoming films The Batman, Black Adam, The Suicide Squad, and The Flash, and more, including Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, which, by the way, that's a great lineup. For those of you who have kind of jumped off the DC bandwagon, get back on that train because I think they've got some good stuff coming out here. HBOMax has also announced a number of new DC series for the streaming platform, including Green Lantern, Constantine, Gotham PD, Peacemaker, the spin-off movie starring John Cena's, spin-off series starring John Cena's character from the Suicide Squad, and Justice League Dark. During AT&T's Investor Day presentation, Warner Brothers included the long-in-development Batgirl project and the rumored Zatanna project in the HBOMax lineup. The Hollywood Reporter reported in May that directing duo Bilal Fallah and Adil El Arbi, Bad Boys for Life, and Ms. Marvel signed on to direct the Batgirl film. Christina Hodson, Birds of Prey, and The Flash wrote the script, and Kristen Burr of Cruella is attached to produce the long-awaited DC film. With Batgirl, we hope to take the audiences on a fun ride and see a different side of Gotham, producer Kristen Burr told The Hollywood Reporter. Christina's script is crackling with spirit. Adil and Bilal have an exciting and joyous energy which is infectious, making them the perfect filmmakers for this Bat project. And I'm just psyched I get to be part of the DC universe, which is super cool. The most famous Batgirl is Barbara Gordon, daughter of longtime Batman ally Gotham Police Commissioner Jim Gordon. Barbara Gordon created her own costume and began fighting as a vigilante to protect Gotham without her father or Batman knowing. Barbara Gordon's Batgirl was first introduced in Detective Comics number 359 in 1967 and played by Yvonne Craig on the 1960s Batman television series. The character quickly gained popularity with fans and has continued to be a favorite for decades. Batgirl has been stuck in development for years, and the announcement of Bilal Fallah and Adil El Arbi joining the project has breathed new life and excitement into the film that will reportedly be going straight to HBO Max. And it looks like the highly anticipated film continues to make progress, which should get fans even more excited. The Illuminati can exclusively reveal 3 of the characters Batgirl is casting, including the film's villain. Batgirl is looking to cast an actress in her early 20s to play the lead, Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. They are also looking to cast an actor in his 50s to play Commissioner Gordon. So it's not going to be Jeffrey Wright, and it's not going to be J.K. Simmons. Batgirl's father, and he is described as a strong supporting character in the film. Perhaps most intriguing is the casting for the villain. Batgirl is looking for an actor in his 50s to 60s to play the villain, who is described as a disgruntled former firefighter. Although this is not a lot of detail, it does seem like the villain could possibly coincide with a version of Firefly that was introduced in the CW series Arrow. And while Garfield Lynn, aka Firefly's origin, is traditionally a pyrotechnics expert, in Arrow the villain was instead a former fireman with burns covering most of his body. The Arrow version of Firefly was left to die while fighting a fire, leading him on a quest for vengeance against the firefighter he blamed. And of course, here's a pretty cool, comic version of that character. It's awesome. If the character casting is indeed Firefly, he would be an excellent villain for Batgirl to face off against in her first solo film, especially since he is one of the first villains that she went up against alongside with Killer Moth in the Batgirl Year One comic miniseries. While usually shown as a pyrotechnics expert, as he is in the comics, using a firefighter background instead could potentially connect Garfield Lens to Commissioner Gordon. Perhaps instead of introducing Firefly through Killer Moth, he could instead be an arsonist that Gordon was initially investigating before Barbara decides to step in. Although the release date has not yet been announced, the film is scheduled to begin production this November. Barbara Gordon is finally getting the chance to shine in her own solo film after years of waiting. And with an established DC superhero screenwriter, as well as the directing team who have experience with impressive action and a female lead superhero project, Batgirl has quite the team behind it. So yeah, I mean, obviously, as the comic fan, especially here on YouTube, I'm one of the many of them out there. I can't wait to see this and any other comic book character that they want to bring to the big screen. Batgirl, a lot of people feel like if you're going to introduce her right, especially if it were in the DCEU, I'll get to that in just a second. It would be best to, build out the Bat family, Batman, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne, all this stuff, and Batgirl in that mix as well, with all that stuff. But obviously the TV show Titans has delved into a little bit of the Bat family there with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd and things like that. Batgirl is obviously going to be getting her own movie. And it sounds like, since it is an HBOMax exclusive, it sounds like it's going to be a standalone film. Not to mention the fact that they're casting a new Commissioner Gordon, Jim Gordon. That means it's not going to take place in the Batman, storyline with the Robert Pattinson movie that is also going to have Jeffrey Wright playing Commissioner Gordon in that film. And it's most likely not going to take place in the DCEU, with J.K. Simmons may or may not be coming back to reprise his role as Jim Gordon there, since Ben Affleck's Batman may be on its way out as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they tie all this together, or at least explain some of this. But my theory is the DCEU and DC in general are going to start expanding with the multiverse, which I've been talking about, it seems like, ad nauseum when it comes to a lot of my videos lately. But that is the big topic of conversation in this comic book genre right now, is the multiverse. So much like the Black Superman movie they're developing with J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot Productions, and, of course, we've got the Joker, we've got the Batman, we've got now Batgirl, which sounds like it's going to take place in its own separate universe, away from the main DC timeline with Ezra Miller's The Flash, Aquaman with Jason Momoa, Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot, and whoever they decide to use as their Superman and Batman going forward. This is all taking place separately. They got the main storyline, and then they've got the Batgirl and all these other shows and movies taking place alongside them, but in alternate realities. Can they cross over? Absolutely. Will they? We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see what DC has in store. We've obviously seen this sort of thing happening on the Arrowverse on CW, when you had the Flash, Arrow, and everybody on Earth Prime, basically. And then, of course, Supergirl for a lot of seasons was on a different Earth. I believe it was Earth 38, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, in the crossover events, they bridged them all together and brought them all together to do an Avengers-style team-up, in this case, the Justice League or Justice Society or whatever it might be. They brought them all together to fight the common threat. So if some of these movies hit, we could see team-ups like this in the multiverse when it comes to DC. And, of course, The Flash has the ability to travel through multiverses and different timelines and things like that, and time. So there are things you could do to make all this make sense. So everything, all the stories count, including the old, 1989 Batman, 1992 Batman, the Joel Schumacher films, the Christopher Reeve Superman, Smallville, the old Birds of Prey TV show, the animated series, all these things, the Dark Knight trilogy, all these things still count in the vast multiverse that they're creating here. So it's not just, the storytelling we're telling right now when it comes to the DCEU with the Justice League and stuff like that. That's all in a bit of flux until the Flash movie hopefully answers a lot of these questions about where they're going to be taking all this. All of it is pretty much speculation at this point about how all this is going to tie together, but it sounds like they're trying to do things to where you give the creative freedom to the directors and the storytellers to tell these stories, so they're not hindered and worried about contradicting certain things in a given timeline. And even Marvel's going to start to probably do this a little bit, I believe, as well. Even though they're going to still be telling that direct storyline and timeline, moving forward, they're hopefully going to be branching out and telling these alternate, standalone, one-off, spin-off films that have nothing to do with the main story arc that's going on. And I think that, is going to breed a lot of good creative content and good, stories that can be told by these directors and actors and stuff who want to come play these roles, and they don't have to worry about all this stuff going on in other universes. So it's a convoluted, confusing mess to a degree, but as long as you market it right to audiences, I think it can have a lot of good possibilities moving forward. But the real question here is, guys, what do you guys think about these details that have possibly been revealed? It's also worth noting here that this is from the Illuminati, so don't take it as straight truth and fact right now. They're kind of a website, I think, that's a little bit suspect. They're not completely 100% accurate, so definitely take this as a grain of salt right now and just rumor. But if it's true, what do you guys think about it? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the Batgirl details that have possibly been revealed. Let me know, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.
Raw.